are the caps that will be fitted over the heads of the lances to blunt their points. They appear to be identical. However, this one, of solid metal, will blunt the lance of the Earl of Huntingdon. But one like this will cap the lance of Sir Baldric.
Clever. Very clever. I find myself wishing the joust were tonight instead of tomorrow. The sight of the Earl of Huntingdon with a lance through his ribs will be a pleasure too long delayed.
His Majesty, the King.
Oh, Count, in the short time since your arrival at our court, you haven't met our royal ward.
No, sire. But I have seen the lovely lady many times in passing.
Lady Marianne, allow me to present His Excellency, the Count of Flanders.
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the Lady Marianne de Baudry.
Your ladyship.
Is everything in readiness?
Everything, Your Majesty.
Sir Baldric, champion of Flanders. Robin of Huntingdon for England.
For the last time, I tell you I don't like the smell of this.
It's the last time I'm telling you, Little John. You're imagining things.
Well, I'm not imagining the hatred that King John had for your father.
You're resurrecting ancient history. The days of Robin Hood and Sherwood Forest are long gone.
Yes, but the evil days of King John have returned.
And why is it when we're back from the Crusades but 4 days that King John should ask you to accept the challenge of this Flemish braggart?
To test the metal of Flemish steel against our English steel. What else? Could I have honorably refused?
Well, I guess not. Your father was equally stubborn where his honor were concerned.
You, Sir Baldric, and you, Robert of Huntingdon, understand that you'll meet in friendly combat, governed by the code of chivalry?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Shield your lance tips. You have our leave to proceed.
Your Majesty, I ask a boon.
What do you want of us, Robert of Huntingdon?
Your leave to seek the favor of a lady.
Her name?
My lady, would you grant an English knight your favor?
What English lady would deny her favor to any English knight?
Your Sir Baldric conducts himself like a worthy champion.
I could bring to England among my retainers 50 knights as good, if not better, than Sir Baldric.
For the moment, let's concentrate on Sir Baldric.
Aren't you going to wish me well?
Of course I am. Good luck, lad.
Permit me. I've often wished to try a Flemish lance. Will you exchange with me? It seems yours has lost its cap. I can hardly take such unfair advantage of so noble a gentleman. But the Flemish knight has qualms at the thought of English steel.
I will feed you a belly full of your English steel.
Forgive me, sir, but this should be stopped.
I'm sorry, my dear, but it appears neither of the contestants wants it stopped. So you have 50 knights as good or better than this?
A mere mischance, Your Majesty. Unfortunate, but...
Did Your Majesty see Huntington turn his back on you after he speared the Flemish
A
champion?
deliberate insult. I also heard how the people cheered him.
Swine.
Would it be presumptuous to ask why Your Majesty bears this young Earl of Huntingdon such a grudge? He seems to be a pleasant enough young man.
His Majesty cannot forget what he suffered because of the first Earl of Huntingdon, Robin Hood, the father of this brazen upstart.
Traitor, a bandit, whom my fine brother Richard exalted to noble estate. I would have hanged him. Because of him, I was sent into exile.
But if it pleases you, why not arrest the sprig and deal with him as you see fit?
As you must have gathered at the joust, the sprig holds a peculiar, almost romantic place in the affections of the people. And now that he's returned, a hero of the Crusades, it would raise a hue and a cry to arrest him without cause.
You are the king, and he is your vassal. Is that not cause enough?
You know little of the politics of present-day England.
After the democratic reign of my brother, there is some question as to who is king and who is vassal. The barons are the worst of all. To them, a royal command is something to be obeyed or ignored. Suits their convenience.
A state of affairs which His Majesty and I intend to change. With your assistance.
Yes, let's do business. I have more important things on my mind than this rogue of Sherwood Forest. I'll deal with him in due time.
I am completely at Your Majesty's service.
For a price, of course.
Naturally.
Well, what is your price?
With peace on the continent and an army eating me out of house and home, Your Majesty is in a position to drive a bargain. Offhand, I would say that I could supply the 5,000 soldiers Your Majesty seeks for the beggarly sum of 100,000. In gold, of course, and to be paid in advance.
100,000? In gold? You might as well ask me for the stars. How do you expect me to provide such a sum?
The revenues of a king are usually derived from the people by means of taxes.
Taxes? The people of England have almost forgotten the meaning of the word.
Another result of the democratic principles of the late King Richard.
I am a soldier, Your Majesty, not a minister of finance. My troops are at your command the moment you stand ready to pay for them.
Taxes. Taxes. I'll break their stiff English necks with taxes. It's time I taught them who is the King of England.
This is no time for foolishness. We should ride for Nottingham and put ourselves out of the reach of the king.
Be guilty of bad manners?
You startled me, my lord.
Did I?
Yes, but then you are a man of surprises. Asking me for my favor before the joust was a surprise. Considering that since your return to England, we've seen each other several times at court, and you've not spoken a word to me until today.
You wouldn't expect me to make advances to the king's ward, would you?
Oh? I thought it was because you found me of no interest.
On the contrary, I find you of great interest, which is why I've delayed my going home to Nottingham long enough to return your favor.
You bore it to great credit. I'm sorry you were wounded. Is it very painful?
The scratch. And I suppose that, too, is a surprise to you. You must have found it very amusing to have me ask your favor.
I do not think I understand you, my lord.
I'll make myself very clear. Being so close to the king, you must have known that I was tricked into the joust, and that it was prearranged that I should die. Not honorably, but at the hands of a murderer.
I would not dignify such a foul thought concerning myself with an answer.
When I first saw you, I thought you had the face of an angel. What a fool I was.
Will you step aside, my lord?
Gladly. And I trust that our paths will not cross again. With her innocent look, she almost convinced me she didn't know the king's plan.
Well, that's no reason to stay here and let the king carry out his plan. Let's ride for Nottingham.
$5 for every cow, 2 silver pennies for a pig. It's more than I earn. I can't pay it.
You'll pay it, all of you, or the trees of England will hang heavy with a different fruit. A fruit that hangs from the trees with its legs kicking. George Bruce, 4 shillings. Will Harridge, 5 shillings. James O'Lee, 3 shillings.
This is robbery.
Oh, so it's robbery, is it?
What I meant to say was... Oh,
What did you mean to say?
well,
Be glad I didn't run it into your belly.
if the others are afraid to speak their mind, I am not.
Speak. Come on, speak. 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 Come on.
For what reason is this man being beaten?
For refusing to pay what is due to the crown.
We're being robbed, your lordship. He calls it taxes.
By whose authority do you collect taxes from my tenants?
Ask your question of the king.
The castle of Nottingham, the village, and Sherwood Forest are free and clear of all taxes forever. By royal grant of my father, given by King Richard.
News must travel slowly in these parts. England has a new king. His name is John.
Take your men and be off.
I'll take you for resisting a decree of the king.
Take me?
I...
Did you hear him?
I heard him. We're waiting.
Arrest them.
If your Majesty will but listen to me, I believe I can convince you to
Your Majesty.
Enter.
Your Majesty, this is a matter of the utmost urgency. I beg of you to let nothing interfere.
Your pardon, my Lord Archbishop. Yes?
The fool has played directly into your Majesty's hands.
I could not have arranged it better. You may go on with your petition. What were you saying when we were so pleasantly interrupted?
I have come again to protest to your Majesty concerning the oppressions you are putting upon your people. These new taxes, are you seeking to make bond slaves of free Englishmen?
Suppose you attend to the affairs of your church, Stephen Langton, and leave matters of ruling the kingdom to me.
I would be false to my office if I did not pray that the king would consider more wisely.
Save your prayers for your churchly flummeries. If you have any to spare, you might get ready to say them for the prisoners who are being brought before us. So these are the traitors.
If it be a crime to resist tyranny, then we are traitors.
You're charged with committing treasonable acts against the crown, interfering with an officer of the king, and with murder by violence.
Yes. How do you answer, Huntington? Guilty or not guilty?
If it be treason to stand as a free man and defend what is right and lawful, then I am guilty.
Seems that he condemns himself out of his own mouth.
And as even my Lord Archbishop will testify, he was not put to the torture.
What I have said, I am willing to shout from the highest battlement of this castle. And what I have done, I would do again.
A pity. Such brave words must be choked off by the noose.
The noose has never been able to strangle truth, your Majesty.
We are not strangling truth, my Lord Archbishop. We are to hang a criminal. Captain, confine him in a cell until a gallows can be built in the courtyard.
May I remind your Majesty that there has not been a gallows in a royal palace in England for 30 years.
My late brother Richard coddled the people until they lost their fear of the throne. But I shall build a gallows, very high, very strong, to stand as a warning to others of my loyal subjects who may share his opinions.
I doubt that one gallows will be enough to hang all of England.
I shall begin with you. It will repay me in some measure for having been cheated of the pleasure I might have found in hanging your father. Take them away.
Think well of what you are doing, John of England. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay.
There are times, my Lord Archbishop, when I seem to sense a treasonable trend in your words and deeds. Take care that I do not send you to mount the gallows. Rome or no Rome.
Lady Mary Ann.
Oh, God bless her.
Quick, stand watching the door. We, had a little trouble with a rat.
Ran right across my face.
Wait here. Mary Ann, when I saw your scarf at the end of the rope, I realized that...
Please, there will be an alarm at any moment.
I know. And I'll see you back to the palace and out of danger.
I'll make sure the way is clear.
Drop this in the moat with the other things.
Bringing me here is madness, my lord. Don't you value your life?
Yes, my lady. I do value my life. Now more than ever. More important than my life at this moment is my gratitude and my sense of shame.
The prisoners have escaped. Sound the alarm!
The guards, hurry.
One question. What is the Count of Flanders doing here, and why is he so close to the king?
There's talk of the king hiring Flemish troops to serve him.
Flemish troops? On English soil?
Please, Robin, go. For my sake.
Get to your horses, all of you. Scour the countryside. Don't come back without them.
Raise the gate.
young Earl of Huntingdon seems to be an elusive individual. Now you see him, now you don't.
There are times, Flanders, when I could...
The decree awaits your Majesty's signature.
Read it.
I, John, by the grace of God and my right, King of England, do decree that as of this day, Robin, Earl of Huntingdon, is outlawed and his estate and property forfeit to the crown, and that a reward of 1,000 gold pieces will be paid for the delivery of his person, dead or alive, to our royal household. Furthermore, no person shall give the said Robin of Huntingdon shelter, aid, or comfort under penalty of death and confiscation.
Give it to me. We shall see, my Lord Flanders, how elusive he is. For that much gold, there are people who would sell their own brothers.
A good haul today, Sergeant. This should please the king. Help to fill his treasure chest.
Search the woods. Search everywhere. Night and day, they keep on hunting.
Gold made us sit in a cave, hiding in the earth like a couple of foxes.
Yes, but it's better than dancing the hangman's jig at the end of a rope. I know how the knowledge of the king's plan galls you the same as it does me. But John has many to do his bidding. We're but two.
There must still be men in England to stand for the right as in my father's day.
Oh, there are. Some of the same men. A little grayer in the thatch, maybe, but men. There's Will Scarlet, Friar Tuck, Allen a Dale, and others of the merry men.
Can they be found?
Well, perhaps. We used to gather now and then, before you and I rode off to the Crusades, to recapture old memories and hoist a tankard or two.
Well, then, let us find them. I think it's high time we gathered a pack. And did a little hunting of our own.
Three miles further to the kennel, the first old hound we seek. By now, he may be a trifle mangier, but I doubt they've extracted his fangs or his appetite.
Ah, those were the days, brethren, with Robin Hood. I remember one night, after we had given Prince John's men a goodly buffeting, I cracked a half a dozen skulls with my quarterstaff during the course of that pleasant afternoon. Heaven forgive me for recalling such violence.
Friar Tuck, how many times have I counseled you not to fill the minds of your brother friars with the disgraceful tales out of your past?
I'm nothing but a miserable sinner, my Lord Abbot.
That we agreed upon long ago. Go meditate for 30 days on bread and water.
Bread and water?
Sign in the heavens.
Aye. And such a sign I never hope to see again.
Friar Tuck, where are you going?
To answer the sign, Lord Abbot. But I'll remember to say the prayers for the good of my soul. Pardon me. You don't mind, do you?
Sweet lass, not good delight me.
Well, they were right when they told us we'd find him here.
Aye, that's Alan Dale, sure enough. I'd know the voice of that canary anywhere.
He's singing a love song.
I've always said it's a sin to waste such a voice on worldly things.
Oh, I don't think he's wasting it.
And I will keep it faithfully. Will keep it faithfully. Come, sweet lass, my arms are waiting, night is fading. In thy hands a moonbeam lately blown. In thy lips the fairest rose I've known, and I must have them for my own. Must have them for my own.
Oh, Alan, you're wonderful.
My sweet.
Is there anything wrong?
No, nothing. I'll be right back.
How long will you be?
I wish I knew. This is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, we thought you'd like it.
Friar Tuck, you're as fat as ever.
Fatter?
And just as hungry.
The keeper did a shooting go, and under his coat he carried a bow, all for to shoot at a merry little doe in the forest of green. Oh, Robin Hood, it is I, Friar Tuck, brethren, Little John, I, sir, Alan a Dale, master, hey down, ho down, derry, derry down, in the forest of green. Oh, to my hey down, down, to our ho down, down, hey down, ho down, derry, derry down, in the forest of green. Oh.
Good morning, Will Scarlet.
Good morning.
See you tomorrow.
I'll be here.
Poor Will Scarlet.
The last time I saw him in the same place.
You're looking well.
Surely it can't be the same young lad that used to follow me through the deep woods, learning me secrets and how to tie the finest snares in all England. It can't be.
The same, Will. And I never forgot your lessons. Many's the time they served to get me out of trouble.
It's one of those lessons in land you and the stocks. You, a poacher, a fellow who steals other people's poultry, a criminal no less.
Who would think that any landowner would make such a fuss over a small matter like 40 or 50 chickens and ducks?
Ducks? You wouldn't have one of those ducks somewhere nearby.
No.
Well, the flesh hungers as well as the spirit.
I was eating the last one when they caught me.
Glutton. Jump up behind me, Will. I'll take you out.
By order of His Majesty, it is decreed that Tom Crookshank shall receive 50 lashes for speaking treason against the crown and refusing to pay his taxes. Begin the lashes. Wow!
not enough? You rob us of all we have? Must you take my son's pets?
Speak to your betters. Next time, have the money to pay your taxes.
Can we take the pigeons too? Right there.
All right, the pigeons too.
All right, man, let's go.
You've taken everything we possess.
Hold your tongue. You'll all rot in jail until you do find money to pay your taxes. Welcome to Sherwood, men. We have food and drink whenever you need it.
Now, not too long, Will, and not too short.
I know. I'll make you really pretty.
Well, why so glum, Robin? Have we not given those troopers another trouncing?
Not satisfied with the way things are going, Alan.
We've checked John's robbers a dozen times in as many days, and every hour more good men are signing up with us.
Yes, but while we're depriving the king of shillings, somewhere else he's fattening his purse with gold.
Well, we can't be everywhere at the same time, my son.
We must be everywhere. Or at least make the king believe we can be. We must make him think we number thousands rather than a mere handful. We must give him no rest by night or by day. We must strike from all points of the compass, across the length and breadth of England. At the same time, I must try to arouse the barons to make common cause against the king. For without their aid, we shall surely fail.
Well, if we only knew what moves John has in his mind, we could certainly make it difficult for him.
I'm sure the king would be glad to appoint one of us to his council. A short-term appointment.
Oh, very short.
We only had a friend at court.
Court, they're only friends of King John.
We have a friend.
Yes, if there were only some way she could get word to us.
I think there is a way.
It's very amusing, isn't it?
In a common way, I suppose it is.
Why do you stay if it bores you so?
I would resort to any subterfuge to remain a single minute in your company. Prove my devotion.
Pardon, my lord and lady.
Watch whom you jostle, you big oaf.
Pigeons, my lady? We're selling them for a worthy cause.
What would a lady do with pigeons?
Would your lordship be interested in some other kind of bird?
Of course not.
A chicken, perhaps. Tender, plump, a delicate morsel, fit for your lordship's table.
No, no.
But this is no ordinary chicken. Look at its eyes. One's blue, and one's brown.
See how pure and white it is? It has no fear of you, my lady. Do not let it go, for it will fly back to its home.
You're crazy, beggar. Out of my way.
They are lovely. I would like to have them.
You would?
Please.
Even your whim is my command. What am I, a lackey?
Thank you, my lady. I will pray for you. God keep you.
Amen.
One of you, take this thing.
Just a minute. I'm afraid I'm not as young as I used to be.
Why don't you take off your skirts, old lady?
Old lady! Nothing at all.
Oh, well done.
Ah, good. This one came home a lot with a message.
Good boy. Men, to your horses.
Good morning. Lovely morning, isn't it?
See? You nearly lost your head again over a pretty face.
Pretty. It's beautiful.
Excuse me. Heaven forgive me. Heaven forgive me.
Another one came back, Robin.
Thank you, lad.
Ready.
Francis Trevor, for the last time, where have you hidden your savings?
I'm a poor man. I have no savings.
You're lying. All of you clout have a sock of gold hidden away.
I told you the truth. I swear it.
You swear it, eh? Then you'll have no fear of a trial by ordeal to prove you're not a perjurer. You will walk 9 paces holding the hot iron. If tomorrow your hands are healed, you'll be judged innocent. Otherwise, you'll be hanged.
No. No.
If you're telling the truth, you have nothing to fear. Heaven will protect you. Turn.
Scoundrel of a Huntington strikes in a dozen different places, over hundreds of miles of territory, and always at the right moment, as if he had the gift of second sight.
Second sight or something else, Your Majesty.
Perhaps the Earl of Huntington is just lucky, Sir Giles.
Much too lucky. It would almost seem that someone in the castle is forewarning him of our movements.
Oh, don't try to bring up an old wives' tale like that. To disguise the fact that the fellow's too smart for you. What are you doing to try to catch him? Nothing.
Everything, sire. He's like a will-o'-the-wisp, and he's made an almost impregnable fortress out of Sherwood Forest. Every tree hides a spy or a bowman. It's impossible to surprise him.
Oh, bar excuses. Always excuses.
I would say that through the operations of this bandit, your tax gathering has been reduced to almost nothing.
And you. All you think about is money. What are you, Flemings? A nation of pawnbrokers?
Money makes the mare go, sire. It also hires fighting men.
You'll get your money. Just bide your time.
Time, Your Majesty, is of the essence. Particularly when my men might be in service elsewhere, while I sit here awaiting Your Majesty's pleasure concerning their employment.
I know that. But while the stupid fools who serve me do nothing, this Huntington devil goes about the country preaching treason. He's already appeared before more than a score of barons, urging them to take up arms against me.
That makes Your Majesty's problems even more acute.
Wait. That fool Robin has given me an idea. Perhaps through certain of the barons, we can solve a few problems. Yours among them. I think I'll give a state banquet in honor of several of them. Alfred, Chandos, Fitzwalter.
Why those 3, Your Majesty?
Well, Chandos possesses the richest lands in the kingdom. Alfred has the most wealth. And Fitzwalter is master of a castle that has never been taken by assault.
All of which Your Majesty would like to have.
Shall I make the arrangements for such a banquet, sire?
I can think of no one better qualified to attend to the matter.
Your pardon, milady.
This habit of yours of entering my room without my leave, Sir Giles, is extremely annoying.
Forgive me, but I came to ask your help in a certain matter.
Oh?
Tell me, how do you think advance information concerning the purposes of the king has leaked out?
Why do you ask me such a question, Sir Giles? As you know, I care little for politics or intrigue.
Lovely things, aren't they?
Yes.
Charming pets, too. I seem to remember that there were a dozen or more in the cage when Flanders presented them to you.
I could not bear to see them cooped up. I liberated them.
Oh, but you kept these too? For sentimental reasons, no doubt? I can understand your attachment for them. My thanks for receiving me, milady.
Adieu, my Lord Alfred. And to you, Barons Fitzwalter and Chandos.
You have the devil's own cheek standing there before us, knowing that your life is forfeit to any man who takes you.
Yet I'm not so foolhardy as you, gentlemen, to ride so blindly to the banquet the king has prepared for you, without knowing what is in store for you.
Have the goodness to stand out of our way. If it were not for the respect we held for your father, we would seize you and take you to the king.
I beg you, my lords, turn back. I do not know what awaits you, but I do know that John plans your downfall. He hates you, all of you.
Naturally. His Majesty's giving a banquet in honor of his enemies.
If he is giving you a banquet, it's for a different reason than honor. He doesn't know the meaning of the word.
And why should the king hate us?
Because he covets your wealth and power.
I advise you to leave politics to your elders. Now, will you move, or will you force us to ride you down?
Let them pass. We will get no help from them.
He must have contracted some strange malady in the Holy Land that addled his brain. We'll never forget your Majesty's graciousness in extending us this great honor.
Your sentiments touch me deeply. Are your goblets empty? Page.
So it is. So it is. To your Majesty's health and long life.
To your own long life. Will you both join me in drinking a toast to my Lord Alfred?
I drink to one of His Majesty's most valued friends.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
To your continued prosperity, sir.
You're very kind, you're very kind indeed.
What brings you to England, my lord?
Oh, the usual thing. I'm mingling pleasure with business.
Business? But you're neither merchant nor tradesman.
Surely, my lord, others besides merchants and tradesmen can find profit in travel. Your health, sir.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I have something more of interest to you. I have added 3 fine stags to my trophies of the chase. Will you come and look at them? There you are, gentlemen. It'll be a long time before you see such beauties again.
As we all know that your Majesty is the greatest marksman in England. None draws such a mighty bow or looses such a deadly arrow.
That dog, Alfred. He still crawls from the touch of his filthy hands. Well, dead. All of them. Good. Get them out of here.
It was not my place to have advised your Majesty as to your plans, but killing these gentlemen in the royal palace, will that not be a trifle awkward to explain?
Yes, but not for His Majesty. They'll be taken outside the walls, secretly, and they'll be found in Sherwood Forest.
With arrows in their backs. The kind used by Robert of Huntingdon and his men.
We shall spread the story that these loyal barons attempted to arrest Robin and were murdered from ambush.
There are times, Giles, when you approach true genius.
Of course, their estates will become the property of the crown, which will provide us with funds we can put to good use.
My congratulations.
Captain, you know your orders?
Perfectly, my lord.
Take them out by the secret passageway under the moat. And be sure you're not observed.
Have no fear of that, my lord.
This is as good a place as any. You 2 men at the end. Stop anyone coming along the road in this direction. The rest of you, dump these carrion.
My lord. My lord, we thought you were dead like the others, and then you made a sound.
My thanks to you for your aid. Where may Robin of Huntington be found? If you mistrust me, or think I mean him harm, find him. Tell him one of the fools who rode to the king's banquet begs his help.
You go. I will stay with his lordship.
I was one who scoffed at the warnings of Robin of Huntingdon. Chandos and Alfred doubted too, and they are dead. And my body bears witness to the treachery of the king. We foiled the king's plot to seize the estates of the barons he murdered in order to pay for Flanders mercenaries, but he will find other means to raise this money, for he is determined to crush all of England under the weight of Flemish troops.
When that day arrives, John will become your masters, and you his slaves. If he allows you to live at all, it will be with foreign swords at your throats.
You, Peter. You, William. You, Benedict. You earls of Pembroke and of Salisbury. All of you, nobles of England. What say you to such a king?
I renounce my allegiance.
Death to him.
Yes, death to John the murderer.
No. We are not murderers. As the Archbishop of Canterbury and your friend, I cannot and will not condone talk of bloodshed and violence against the king.
He is no king of mine. Does John stop short of bloodshed and violence?
Pay him in his own coin. Can the church bring back Alfred and Chandos from the dead? Avenge them.
We are here for a higher purpose than vengeance. What we resolve here could endure forever. We must secure, beyond the reach of John or of any king to follow him, the God-given right of every man to life, freedom, and human dignity. It is for that purpose we are met here, not to plan the shedding of blood.
How long must we be denied justice and have to pay the king for it?
United in the right, we can demand from John a charter, which will set forth once and for all a common law. A law to govern high and low with equal justice.
Then let us state once and for all the wrongs we intend to correct.
Every man shall be held innocent until proven guilty.
No imprisonment for debt.
Every man shall have the right to dispose of his own property by will.
Women must not be forced into marriage without their consent.
Aye, all of those things and more.
Put it in writing for us, my Lord Archbishop, and we will see that John seals it.
If that be your will, I shall undertake the task, with God's help.
I know it will not be easy to get to the king. It will take time and planning.
Likewise, the king must be prevented from moving against us singly, until all of us are ready to take the field together.
And the time is also very short until we can expect the Flemings at our throats.
Can your men keep the king's troops busy, my son, while the barons prepare?
We've been keeping His Majesty fairly well occupied these past weeks.
It is possible for a fly to annoy an elephant.
For England.
For England.
These barons, they dare to conspire against me, against the crown. Even talk of deposing me, of killing me.
Kingship has always been a risky business. I'm afraid Your Majesty's plan to dispose of several of your barons and seize their estates was bungled.
Yes, and you bungled it. How could I foresee that Fitzwalter would survive an arrow in his back? Or that he would arouse the other barons into taking possession of the estates before our troops could...
You told me he was dead. So dead that he's one of the leaders of the rebellion against us.
It seems certain now that you'll have to face your barons on the field of battle.
Not yet. They're too powerful.
You're in a very precarious position. Perhaps you'd better submit to their demands.
Submit? Never.
The situation's far from hopeless, sire. All you need are his Flemish troops, and the barons will soon be put in their place.
But first, there's the little matter of payment for my troops.
You know I haven't all the money you demand.
In all respect, I have problems, too. Feeding and maintaining of my men, it's ruinous. I've been more than patient in accepting promises from Your Majesty, when my troops could have been profitably employed in the service of other countries, in which the rulers are not bankrupt.
You're insulting Flanders.
No heroics, please. We're men of common sense facing facts. I have something you wish to buy and for which you cannot pay. But there might be another method of payment.
You mean you might be willing to accept the king's notes of hand?
Hardly. But I would accept the hand of the king's ward in marriage.
Lady Marianne, you're presumptuous, sir.
But don't be hasty, Giles. Let him speak.
Well, surely it cannot have escaped your attention that the lady attracted me from the first.
Love at first sight.
I admit, considerations other than her beauty and grace may have influenced me.
Surely not the fact that she's an heiress of the first magnitude, and that she will bring as part of her dowry several of the most desirable estates in England.
Worth 10 times more than the gold you want.
There are things in life above price, Your Majesty. Do I understand that my offer is refused?
Perhaps she has a mind of her own.
Are you or are you not the King of England?
Who is it?
The king. Open your door, my dear.
Your Majesty.
I have good news for you.
At this hour, sire.
Good news is welcome at any hour. You know, Marianne, you think you've been fooling me. Ever since the Count of Flanders arrived at our court. Well, I'm not as blind as all that. I noticed how you preferred his company and how he mooned over you.
The Count of Flanders.
Yes. So it was no surprise to me when he asked me for your hand in marriage tonight. Splendid match. I congratulate you both.
But I had never even thought of
Now,
it.
my dear. There's no cause for such modesty with me. I know that every young girl of your age thinks with pleasure of marriage with the man of her choice. Of course, I shall grieve to lose you, but then every guardian, just like every father, must accept the inevitable.
You promised me to him?
Well, naturally, and gladly.
If you're jesting, sir, then I do not appreciate your humor. And if you are in earnest, then I say to you that I will decide upon the man of my choice. Flanders. Why, I despise him as much as I despise Sir Giles with his oily tongue and his evil mind. Or you, with your blood-stained hands.
You will marry Flanders.
One of the finest of all foods.
You keep your foot still.
Sorry, lad, but I'm a bit ticklish. I've always had the belief that soup is
Oh,
the most...
please.
Robin, I have news.
Marion in Flanders. Been married in 3 days.
But not willingly, Robin. I heard gossip among the serving women that my Lady Marianne has defied King John, but that he's sworn that he will take the strongest measures to force her to obey. And Flanders has sent orders to his troops. They will land in England in a few days.
And King John has given him Marianne to pay for them.
Write to the barons. Tell them to bring all the men they can. Tell them it is life or death to our plans.
Come along, Will.
I'm coming.
Come along.
When I get my booty on, I'll be with you.
Why did the West insist upon being married at St. Dunstan's Abbey? A 3-hour journey. The ceremony might just as well have been performed in a palace chapel.
Every girl dreams of being married in the cathedral. And she's right. Only for the reason that it befits our high rank to be married in one of the most important churches of England. My dove?
How far is it now to St. Dunstan's Abbey?
Only a matter of 3 miles.
Only 3 miles.
Ah, good. You were impatient. So am I.
Guard the ladies.
With pleasure.
Escort His Majesty to Runnymede.
Welcome, my son. You have our thanks. No man has a better right to be here.
You give me too much credit, my lords. Have the terms of the covenant been read to the king?
They have.
I do not say that I oppose the propositions contained in your document, but such a vast change in law demands long and careful study. I will take your proposals back to the palace with me, and when I've had time to peruse them fully, I will advise you of my will in the matter. In the meantime, I grant you all pardon for the manner in which you brought me here.
We're not here to seek your pardon, sire, but to hear your answer to our demand.
Demands? No man, no power on earth can make demands upon me. I rule by divine right.
The church denies your claim. You rule by the consent of your subjects.
You fools. In a few days, the troops of Flanders will be here. They will rescue me. I'll have my revenge for all this.
We intend to hold your majesty as a hostage, to ensure that the Flemish troops never land. They will be turned back at your own order.
You dare to speak of holding me? I am the king.
You will continue to wear the crown only if you seal the covenant.
Affix my seal to it.
Swear on your sword that you will abide by this charter, this Magna Carta you have just sealed.
I swear it.
My lady will be a lovely and welcome addition to Nottingham.
Aye, indeed she will. This has ever been my belief that if a young...
Everything has been said, and everything has been done.